Okay, Chris Peaks here today with Pastor David Perry, who's running for the GOP nomination in ALCD 7. Good morning, Pastor
Good,
Perry. Hope you're doing well.
good morning, Chris.
Um,
Good to be
so
on with
tell,
you.
no, thank you for coming. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I grew up in Selma, Alabama. I graduated from Southside High School in 1981, and I attended the University of West Alabama, where I played football for one season with Frank North. Then I joined the military and went in the Army as a nuclear missile tech. And after the military, just working around different jobs, construction, you know, impetuous in my youth, got in a little trouble, but God brought me out of that, redeemed me, saved me, and man, just been serving the community ever since and trying to make changes, change people's lives, give them a different perspective on how they need to progress in such a depressed area. But there are solutions if you can work them.
So your first question I have for you is, you're running in a heavily Democratic area.
Yeah,
Um, how do you flip those votes?
with the truth. I mean, you got to look at it. CD7 has never been under GOP leadership ever,
That's
except
true.
for,
Yeah.
except for back during the Reformation, the Reconstruction. We had a
Yeah.
Republican for 6 years, but since then it's been Democratic all the time, whether it was the House or the Senate. So our issues are not coming from the GOP as our present, leadership in District 7 try to seem like MAGA taking over, Republicans are the problem. But it's actually been Democratic leadership that's been the problem the whole time. So it's just a time to change the leadership so we can change the district. And if we change the district, we can get rid of the poverty, the crime, we can bring it down, and the lives and the people in District 7 can really be a lot better if we just concentrate on doing what we need to do to change people's lives. Because everything that we have can be solved. With the criminal justice side, with crime, you have to fund all the sheriff departments and the police departments. And then you have to tell the truth that they're not leading their community in the proper way. There's no reason to keep people in power if they're not helping you to empower your families. And that's why I got in the race. I've seen so much pain in the district and so much neglect. It's just time for a change, and I think that we can change that. And I
So
know
Representative,
I know it's heavily
okay.
Democratic. I know it's heavily Democratic, but they're frustrated and they're tired.
So Representative Sewell's been there for, I can't remember how long. And then you had, well, Congressman
16,
Davis. Yeah.
16 years.
Congressman Davis, and for him, Earl Hilliard. But it seems like, the district is still just so impoverished. How have they been such failures in bringing anything to there?
Because you need a collaboration with the GOP to bring economic growth. The Democratic Party never focuses on economic growth. They focus on social programs, government entitlement programs, civil rights, and like I've been telling all the Democrats in the district, uh, you're not going to lose your right to vote. They can stop lying to you with that. You will never not be able to vote in America ever again. That's not going to happen. So they can stop telling that lie. And if we don't vote, it's going to be because they're going to pass something that is going to stop the vote. The map, she got in office with the change of a map. Earl Hilliard got in the office with the change of a map. Now you fighting the same change that got you in power. You don't want to give the people another choice. You don't want better leadership. You don't want more involvement. District 7 has some of the most amazing minds, but they're not being used. How many people does she have on her staff from District 7? I heard only 2. But in my administration, if I win, you got to have somebody from every county on your staff to handle the concerns of the county. And then you cannot just put all of us in a basket because different regions require different things. And if you're just going to throw grants out there and not have oversight on the grants, and grants can never build an economy. I want to pause and say that a grant will never build an economy. And that's all the Democrats. Every time you see Terri Sewell coming through during election time, she's coming through with grant checks. And that's because people are piffering off the grant money and it never makes it to the people. Perry County missing $34 million. Selma,
Wow.
Selma missing $12 million out of their school system. And it's throughout the district like that. You have corruption with Democratic leadership throughout that district. Albert Turner, one of them, corrupt. Perry County trying to get rid of him, but I pray Joe Reed don't fall into that trap of trying to recount them votes. Let Albert Turner go on to the side, and he need to be under investigation for the money that he's wasted and for how he did his election back in March. He borrowed money from his own campaign, but that has District 7 has this corruption throughout, and I think it's just time to change it.
So you said that the people were fed up. Is that what they're fed up with, the corruption, or is there one issue that's
they fed up with the corruption, the schools, the lack of infrastructure, the roads in the rural are terrible. They fed up. They fed up. The super commuters are fed up. We have thousands of families that commute over 125 miles a day.
Wow.
Round trip. You have some commuting 90 or better just to work because you don't have the economic opportunities in District 7 that you have in other districts. The median income in District 7 is $48,000 a year. Median income in District 6 is almost 90, right next door to us. So how you can have economic growth on one side, and then you get to the District 7, and all of a sudden, you don't have any economic growth. Spiller just announced they closing in Butler.
And what was that?
Spiller in Utah, rather, the Spiller company in Utah just announced that they closing, and that's one of the biggest employers they got left. So I gave them a plan. I gave them a plan. You can take that green track and turn it into a family entertainment zone, and you will pull some of those tax dollars that you lose in the Mississippi with the lottery, because Sumter County, Choctaw, Pickens, all of them are right there on the Mississippi line. Mississippi has a lottery, so a lot of Alabama citizens go over there and spend their tax dollars. But if you put in a family entertainment zone in Utah, that's what it used to be with the dog track. It was vibrant. It was a vibrant community when they had the track. But you can take the track and turn it into something else to pull dollars, to pull entertainment, because you don't have anything in there for the families, and they have to drive to Tuscaloosa or go to Meridian to spend their money. And that's time you're already commuting many hours. You want to stay at home if you want to take your family out. You don't need to be going an hour out just so your kids can have some entertainment, or a birthday party, or a trampoline park. It's time out for all of this, putting this poverty in policies of the Democratic Party in place to keep the people down, and then blaming the Republicans on what's going on in the district. I think that is wrong, and I think it needs to be called out. And I think Republican leadership needs to be louder about what's going on in District 7.
So how's the campaign going? Are people receptive to the message?
Yes, they are. I've had a good response, and District 7 has good people. I have not, and I don't know why people think this. The Republican Party has a lot of minorities in it, and they don't know it. But the campaign is going well, but you have some that have given up on trying to change the district because they don't think that you can defeat Terri Sewell. But I know she's vulnerable, and I know I'm the candidate that can defeat her and change this district red, which is desperately needed for the people. It can no longer be about the party. It has to be about the people. And if we make it about the people, then you got to change the leadership.
I guess with every election, it's about getting your people to the polls. August 11th is probably going to be a very small turnout. Have you identified, what areas you need to target to win that election?
I have targeted the whole district. Brother Chris, I have driven since this election. I have driven over 10,000 miles in the district. I've done 7,000 in the last month. And that's because I go to every county. Every county is different. So it's just time to stop trying to put all us in one bowl and say vote Democratic and keep doing the same thing. The campaign is going well, but we need help. And we're getting the message out. But, during the primary, people don't get involved that much. So We just got to phase it off in August 11th and see what the people say.
So, what do you hear about the National Party? If you win this primary, are they going to get involved? I mean, 'cause you're going to
That's
have some
what they,
money.
that's what they saying. They saying about it, whoever win the primary, they gonna put support behind it. You know, uh, we'll see. And I know if we do win, they're gonna have to. You have to put some money behind the change and behind this election to make the change. And after we win, you got to put more money behind that to make the changes that need to be made. And you just can't make it just one thing. Every zone in District 7 has something different. As a congressional leader, you got to know that. You can't throw Washington County into Jefferson County. They on the bottom of the state. So you need an economic plan for those bottom half of those counties that are in District 7. You need another economic plan for the central counties that are in District 7. And you need a plan for the northern part of District 7. Because every district has different issues that has to be addressed, and they're not the same. So to just think that it's one size fit all, that those policies have to be tweaked, and they have to be engaged with the people, and the people need to tell the leadership, and the leadership need to listen to what the people saying they need. You just can't throw it in there and say, okay, we're gonna give you this. But what if the people don't need that? Washington County might not need the same thing Jefferson County. So you need a plan for Washington, Clark, and Monroe. You need a plan for Conecuh, Wilcox, and Dallas. You need a plan for Sumter, Choctaw, Pickens, Greene County, Tuscaloosa County, and Jefferson County. You need different plans for different areas. And the only way to do that is to get your citizens in the district on board with your vision so that they can participate with the change.
Have you given any thought to what kind of legislation you would like to introduce if you get to Congress?
Yes, most definitely. Most of it is tied around bringing crime down and economic empowerment. Because if you bring the economic empowerment, then you're going to bring the crime down. Crime is high where there's no hope. Crime is high where there's a lot of poverty. And when you look at Democratic led cities, you have a high volume of crime and poverty tied in together. I don't know why their leadership has this byproduct going with them everywhere they go, and then they try to blame the GOP on their problems. It's the same thing with all the violence in District 7. District 7 has four of the most dangerous cities in Alabama. Nobody's addressing that. Nobody's trying to. How are you going to recruit companies when they look at what's going on in your district and say, no, I can't relocate there? Crime too high, school failure, infrastructure bad. So they'll bypass you and go to District 6, District 1, District 2. They're going to bypass District 7 because District 7 is not ready for what is needed in this 21st century economy. It's not. We got communities in District 7 that don't even have clean water in 2026. That's unheard of with all this technology and everything that you see going on with technology. It doesn't make any sense for you not to
Wow.
have clean water. Marion don't have clean water. Uniontown don't have clean water. Now you got parts of Selma don't have clean water, and Greensboro don't have clean water either. So this infrastructure problem is throughout the district and it's not being addressed. Now Terri Sewell is going to throw it up and say that she sent money to Perry County, but if you're going to send $34 million, don't you think you need an oversight with that? Don't you
Oh yeah.
make sure the old projects get done? But if you just gonna give it to your friends and say, "Oh, kumbaya, que sera, sera," it's not gonna happen. You're not gonna get the progress you need because the money gonna be filtered off. It's gonna be pilfered off, and the cronies gonna get their part. You know, all the people that she thinks she need to keep in power gonna get their part, but that's not helping the people. When Uniontown is already poor, now you got them even poor because now the people got to spend more money on water. You know, how you gonna bathe in water that look like tea?
Mhm.
You know,
Wow.
so we have a lot of issues. You have sewage running in the streets in some of these communities.
Really?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Ah.
And I've been telling GOP leadership, ride the district. You need to go see what's going on with these communities and the people. You can't think that everything is okay when Pickens County, though, you have rural counties in District 7 don't even have a hospital. You have people waiting over an hour to get an ambulance. Pickens counties don't have what they need. And then the leadership in Pickens County has been trying to contact uh, Representative Sewell, and she never returns their call or their emails. So how you represent District 7 if you're going to ignore one of your counties that needs you desperately? But you'll go over there and you'll take a grant to your black Democratic constituents while you ignoring the problem of the whole community, just so you can keep that black vote. And it's reverse racism. To me, how you gonna say you're the part of equality, but you don't want to deal with no white constituents, except for the ones that you can control like a puppet? And that's just I've been in this district over 20 some years pastoring. I've seen it up close. I've heard the cry of the people. I've seen the pain of the people. But there are solutions to all of this stuff. And all it takes is better leadership to get it done.
Have you given any thought to some of the committees you would like to sit on if you make it to Congress?
Huh?
Have you given any thought to any of the committees you would like to sit on if you make it to Congress?
Transportation, one of them. Because we need it desperately with those roads and infrastructure. You have to, you know. I want to be part of that, the committee for criminal justice. I want to be on any committee that is going to bring those problems in District 7 down and bring solutions to the district. And whatever committee that needs to be, I would push to get on that committee so I can bring some help to the district. It's not about just flowing with that party line. You have to flow with what the people need. It's the people that's hurting. It's the people that's commuting. It's the people that's paying astronomical grocery prices because you don't have diversity for them to shop. It's just time out for that. So every committee that I can get on and work it right, I would get on that committee. But definitely transportation is one of them. And the criminal justice side with economic growth, we can bring this stuff down to where District 7 can be one of the most vibrant districts in Alabama. We have the resources. We have rivers. We number one in catfish in Alabama. We're number one in cattle. But the catfish farmers in District 7 are suffering from the Vietnam catfish. So it should be legislation to stop that import coming in, especially when you have an industry already in place. Why would you go to Vietnam to bring your catfish in and you got Alabama catfish farmers hurting? You know what I mean? You can look throughout District 7. Why you don't have catfish cabins? Why you not pushing catfish restaurants? Why you not fighting for your farmers in District 7 more, for them to get more value? Vietnam should be buying our catfish. We buying theirs. And then when you read the label on Vietnam catfish, it's not all catfish. It's really sway, which is part of the catfish family, but is also ingested with a lot of sodium in water. 40% of the so-called catfish that you get from Vietnam is sodium. One of the biggest problems in District 7 is high blood pressure. So why would you bring in a product that is going to take the issue up, the health issue up in your district? It's going to exacerbate it's going to make it worse. So you need healthy alternatives that can bring economic growth. And you got a catfish farmer down there that needs this for his family, for the community, for employment. Because the catfish industry, you have Harvest Select right there in Uniontown, 25 miles from Selma, but Selma don't have a catfish house. Selma number 5 in tourism. You could put one right there by the bridge, so at least when the buses come in, they can eat in the restaurant. At least use some tax dollars, you know. But you don't have any of that going on in the district. which hurts the catfish farmers. Same thing with Sumter, Choctaw. Mississippi is pulling tax dollars from Alabama with that lottery, and we don't have anything to pull that money back from Mississippi. But if you look at the zones, you can create things along that Mississippi line that can bring those tax dollars back to Alabama because they don't have a lot of family entertainment either. You know, families are looking for alternatives for their children, for entertainment, for healthy choices of going out. After you work 40, 50 hours a week, you shouldn't have to drive an hour to sit down and eat with your family. That's not right. And if anybody say that that's right, something wrong with their thinking. You're already taking time from your family by commuting. Then when you get on the weekend, your town or your community don't have anything for your family, so you got to get right back on the road and commute just to shop, eat, and play. That doesn't make any sense to me. We can solve those issues with entrepreneurship, the empowerment zone, opportunity zone that President Trump put in place for impoverished areas to come up, giving businesses 10 years without that capital gain tax, existing business 5 to 7 years without the capital gain tax, which can create economic growth. But it's not going to be pushed in District 7 because it's a Republican policy.
So you said you've been pastoring in the district for 20 years. Are you working with other reverends there to help get out the vote for you?
Now, well, I'm trying. I've met with a lot of pastors, and a lot of the pastors in District 7 are Democratic, and they don't want to upset the status quo. But those Republican pastors, yes, they getting people out to vote, and we even have a lot of Democratic pastors now that are seeing the issues, and they're encouraging their people to vote. I think the voter turnout in District 7 is going to be higher than people think because there's a lot of concern in District 7 from the citizens.
Now I can't remember. Did y'all actually have to run in the spring too? Is this a complete do over, or
Yeah,
was you getting?
no, this is new. This is a
Okay.
special election. We didn't run in the spring. Matter of fact, I didn't even know I was going to run until May, because I had really said that I was going to run in 2028. I was doing the foundation for a maintenance tech company to get some I had a couple contracts in Huntsville, so that's what I was focused on before they asked me to come and get in this race. And I prayed about it. And God, I let it on my heart to get in because you got to get on. You got to get in where you can make the changes. Policies make the changes. So if you're not in the room where they're making policies, how can you make change?
So we got what 2 weeks to go, or more
No,
than
we
two
got
weeks to go?
10 days.
10 days. Okay. So what do you final push? I mean, were you still trying to work all over, or
Every county. I'll be filming from every county next week. I'll be
like
doing
Facebook videos, or?
Facebook videos and trying to highlight what's going on in the district because I'm telling you, when you ride this district, it'll make you sad. We losing 10 to 15% of the population every year for the last 10 years.
Really?
Yes, yes. The
That's a lot of
citizens,
population loss.
we got a lot of population loss. You look at the population in District 7 when Terri Sewell took office, and now look at it. A lot of those people have moved to Huntsville, Auburn, and different places where the economic opportunities are better for their families. I met with 60 of District 7 residents that moved to Huntsville about a month and a half ago, and none of them have a desire to go back.
So what are the counties there? There's 11 of them, right?
You have Jefferson, Greene, Hale, Marengo, Pickens, Choctaw, Sumter, Conecuh, Washington, Clark. It's about 13.
13.
13,
Okay.
15. Man, you call them names, I get to do my fingers and count them. Because we have the largest district in Alabama.
And you said four of the most dangerous cities were there?
Yes, sir. You
Which
got
one of those?
Birmingham, Bessemer, Selma, in Tuscaloosa. And when you look at the crime stats from the rural is number one in property crimes and burglaries because you know people doing whatever they have to do to try to live, and then you have to count in uh, with the decline with poverty is also always an increase with alcoholism and drug addiction,
True.
and that's what's driving a lot of the crime as well. People medicating their depression, no economic growth. You waiting on your check on the first and the third, but you don't have any opportunities for the citizen to prosper because there's no jobs there. So what do you do when you sad? You drink, you get high, you fight. You know, it's one of those things where if you bring hope and growth, you change the atmosphere for the people. Because then the morale goes up, then the hope goes up, the desire for change goes up. But if you're gonna keep getting the same thing, you're driving by the same empty buildings, and you're looking at your city decline, it's depressing to a lot of people. And that's why on one of my platforms I said we have to increase funding for mental health in District 7 because we have a lot of depression and we have a lot of social ills that is hurting the economy. So you got to address the mentality and the mind of the people. You have to address their mindset. You got to get them in a different mindset.
You said you was originally thinking about running for 2 years. Was there one thing in particular that pushed you to run this time?
Yeah, some of the GOP encouraged me to run, and I took it in prayer. And really, I had desire uh, to try to run because, well, Chris, I eulogized over 100 young men under the age of 35 in District 7 in 4 years.
Mm.
That's a lot of death. And I counseled a lot of families dealing with that trauma from Birmingham all the way to Selma. And, you know, and I'm saying it got to be a better way. And when you go to the other districts like in Auburn and Huntsville, you know, when you go into districts that are flourishing, you don't have all that element. You still gonna always have a criminal element, but it's not out the roof to where it has four of your cities, and you have not addressed this. Four of your cities, you can fix that by not defunding the police, but funding the police and law enforcement more. You have sheriff's departments that are strapped. You have counties where you have one deputy patrolling the county at night. And when is your highest crime volume? It's usually at night. So how is he gonna be able to patrol a whole county if he get 911 calls? Which one do he take?
You
So
said over. Go
these
ahead.
issues can be fixed.
You said over 100. Were most of these young men murdered?
Yes, men and
That's
women.
a that's a lot of people
There's a
left
lot of
to.
people. There's a lot of people gone. There's a lot of families hurting and grieving. You have a lot of anger and hate and revenge in the district from those murders. You know, you have to address this crime issue as well as the economic issue. You just can't put all of it has to be addressed simultaneously, but yet in a way to where one helps the other. You know, if you bring the criminal the law enforcement side up to where you have safer communities, then you can create economic growth better. You have to address the crime issue in order for companies to come into your district. So evidently, if you want this crime, and this is the thing, this is not just happened. In 2016, Selma was voted when Terri Sewell first took office, and in 2020, Selma was voted, not voted rather, but in the media, and when they do the crime stat, it was in the top 10 most dangerous cities in America. Right in District 7, Bessemer was the same way. So when you have this Democratic leadership, it's like you know, crime is just part of what they do. And then You get Black Lives Matter coming in. You ain't protesting all these guys that got killed. I have not seen you not have one town hall meeting on all these murders in your district. So what are we doing? What are we doing to fix this problem? She just did a. She said she did a $5 million grant on June 16th for District 7. Well, Bessemer got 1 million of that. But what you gonna do with the rest of the counties with that little money? You know,
So she just handed out $1 million to Bessemer.
yeah. I mean, but that's nothing for Bessemer. Now, when you talking about the police department, how far would $1 million go in a city like Bessemer? What can Selma do with $900,000 for infrastructure when the whole city needs revitalization?
I'm just concerned with what you said about oversight. I mean, I'm afraid it's going to go in somebody's pocket.
Oh yeah, it is. Most definitely. It always does. The money never reaches the people. It needs to be addressed and it needs to be taken care of. And the only way to do that is to change this leadership. If we keep voting Democrats back into this seat, if we keep voting the same leadership back into this seat, how you gonna get changes?
So have you always been a Republican, or was there something that made you switch from
No,
Democrat to Republican?
nope, never switched. I always been a conservative minded man because you have to line your faith up with your politics. And
Yeah,
my faith is lined up with my politics. I would
yeah,
not go
that's
with
what.
I would not go with a
Right.
party that opposes the principles and love of Jesus Christ. I can't do that. Jesus is my Lord and Savior. He's my King, my sovereign God. So I serve him. And his principles work when you put them in place.
Do you think that? I mean, because I've been saying this for a long time that most black people are so conservative, and their views would line up more with the Republican Party. Are we going to see more blacks switch over and become
Oh yeah.
Republicans? Because that happens. The Democrats are through.
Oh yeah. And now it's already starting. If you look at the last election stats,
Hmm.
40% of black men voted for Trump.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that trend is going to keep going up. It's not going to come down. That trend going up.
Yeah. I think one of my friends called it Blacksit, or it's a black exit from the Democratic Party.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We've
It
heard that
is.
term.
And you have a lot of Democrats in District 7 that are fed up with this leadership. They just need an alternative choice that they can trust and that they can hear and that know that leadership care about them. I care about people. I do. If you're not going to care about the people, and I've been telling all this Republican leadership, what are we fighting for if we're not fighting for the people? You have to fight for the people. And if you're going to fight for your party, then the party need to have the people as top of their agenda. Isn't that why we call ourselves representative congressmen? We represent our district, our constituents in Washington, D.C., trying to bring resources back to the district to help the lives of the people that you serve. But when you serving the party and not the people, then you're not going to bring the help you need because you're going to compromise the help to appease the party. You know, and that's one thing I like about the Republican Party. They let their leaders think freely. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
Republican Party allows a leader to do what he needs to do for his district. And if he's on the up and up, he'll bring some help. Where you have Republican leadership, usually you have more growth. You have less crime, more growth.
That's pretty. I've had you almost 35 minutes. It was good talking to you today. Is there anything else you'd like to say before I close this out?
I would like to encourage everybody to go out to vote on August 11th and in November. We can't have a small turnout. We need to be more involved, and there's no time for political burnout. We need people engaged for this change. And if we don't change it now, then when are we going to change it? If we don't come up now and turn out in numbers to let people know that we care about our district, then why are we in this thing to fight the Democrats if we don't want change? It cannot be a verbal war. It has to be change to make this work. You can't fight this thing just with words. It got to be words and deeds. Your words have to and your actions have to line up for the change that's needed in the district. And I'm encouraging everybody to get out and vote. Uh, call your leadership, ask questions, research, and not just go in it blindly in this election, but know what leaders you are voting for, whether they have your back, whether they have concern about your issues. And I encourage everybody to vote for David Perry, CD7, August 11th. I want to be your voice, and I will be your voice in Washington, D.C. Thank you, Brother Chris. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much. I'll get this loaded up in just a little bit and I'll send you the link.
All right. God bless you, man.
Thank you. God bless you.
Bye bye.